Hey guys, hello and welcome to YouTube series. I'm Manisha Gupta and we're talking about Web 3.0 this time around. This is what has been floating around on the internet, and there's a lot of debate happening with Web 3.0 on how it will change internet, web, and when connected with blockchain will open a lot of avenues. So this is a fundamental change that the world is working with at this point in time, and it is seen as an internet revolution. Before we understand what Web 3.0 is, we will take a step back, understand what Web 2.0 and Web 1.0 also is. So let me start with Web 1.0 first. Well, this was way back in 1990s, and these were websites, if you remember, read-only websites. So you could search information, you could read it, and most e-commerce websites actually are still working on Web 1.0. These are the websites that only need to show their product to you for you to browse through them, to understand, and perhaps buy them online as well. So these websites are usually smooth and fast because they don't have too much of data on them. They're not interactive also. And the level of user interaction in Web 1.0 was minimalistic. It still is. And there's less content creators there and more users is how Web 1.0 was in 1990s. Take a step ahead and we have Web 2.0. These are the websites which were interactive websites. These are the websites which redefined marketing and business operations as well. Users are not idle visitors anymore, the case that was in Web 1.0. In this case, you could browse, you could also interact, you could give your reviews as well, and that is what led to a lot of people actually flocking onto these websites. So audience reviews decided on whether they wanted what product they wanted, what hotel they wanted to stay in, fine dining, brands. People were giving their reviews. People were, sharing or voting on how they felt about a certain place, and that made it very much interactive there. 90% of customers, and this is as per some data, read online reviews before they make any purchases. So clearly there was a lot of stuff that Web 2.0 was doing. Not just that, the Instagram influencers can make or break a brand with just one statement out there. The Twitter also came around during this time as well. The voting on brands, on eating places, as I said, all happened during this time. So whether it was about voting, rating, broadcasting, tagging, and various things also like curating with RSS, social bookmarking, social media, all came around this time with Web 2.0. The way we are used to looking at websites, the way we react on internet and social media is all about Web 2.0. Fast forward, Web 3.0 is exactly what we're talking about right now. This is what is happening now. With these kind of things, it is all about artificial intelligence. So there are four properties really to understand what Web 3.0 really means. First is semantic web. So what happens in this is that there is data analysis that is being done by the machines, whether it's about contents, whether it's about links, etc. So transactions about people and computers also is being stored. There is greater connectivity between the data, and semantic web will help teach the computer on what the data means. So data collection is one part of it, but how do you analyze, how do you use, and how do you correlate that data is what semantic web is doing. And to analyze all of this is exactly where Web 3.0 comes in. But that's just about one of the properties. Artificial intelligence is the machine intelligence. There is leveraging all information available is what artificial intelligence really will do. So when you look at websites, when you ask for some information, there is filtering of data that is happening, and it presents the user the best available, the most relevant data to be put out. That is what AI does. So human recognitions or human recommendations and ratings can sometimes be corruptible. I may not like a movie because I don't like it. I don't like a product because I have a personal influence towards it. But when you look at proper data, so, barring humans as well, just going via the data on how many times a person is going to that website, how many times am I reading towards that, is something that artificial intelligence will do. So that will also cut out the human relevance to this. Also, when you look at artificial intelligence, it can separate the good from the bad and give you reliable data. The third most important thing is the 3D graphics. Now, this is being used when it comes to real estate, when it comes to looking at when you're booking a hotel and you want to do a 360 degrees of a room, of the pool, of the gym, etc. there. This is exactly the technique that is being used, and this falls under Web 3.0 when you have a 3D graphics of that. So whether it's online gaming, whether it's e-commerce, when you want to look around, and real estate, as I said, are the most relevant examples of 3D graphics. The other is the ubiquitous. So this is the idea of existing and being everywhere. This is majorly about you capture an image, you upload it, and you distribute it everywhere. It's available everywhere. Then these images become accessible to various data sites, to various social media sites. You put one on Instagram, it would be available on Google, it would be available on various other places. So this is yet another thing that Web 3.0 allows you to do, which Web 2.0 and absolutely Web 1.0 did not have sense of. So with these features, Web 3.0 is web of almost everything. You buy something at Amazon, it tells you on what other people bought with it. It gives you recommendations. When you buy something, it also gives you relevant products, similar products, and tells you on what the features of these other products are, what are the prices of these other products are. That's clearly what is Web 3.0. So there's a lot of learning. It gives you back. The internet, the web stores information, it stores data, it continues to analyze it at every click, and it gives you back as well. But there are a lot of challenges with Web 3.0 as well. For example, the less advanced devices will not be able to use Web 3.0. The other thing is about a bit of an uncertainty as well, because when you're putting out something, suppose I want to get in some medical data, so I will put in some symptoms. But if there are too many symptoms, if there are too less symptoms, then the corresponding data might be difficult, different with every search. So that is something Web 3.0 is still learning. The other is the vagueness. If you haven't been able to, if you're not able to search, if you're not able to put exactly what you want, then it would come out with vague, too much information, which perhaps would not be relevant. The other is the vastness of it all. It is just so huge. I mean, when we put one word in Google and try to search on it, we get thousands of response to it, if not lakhs. So one word in fraction of seconds gives you so much data, so much result. So there is a hugeness or vastness when it comes to 3.0 right now. So there's a lot of work being done on this. And there is, as I said, once it is connected with blockchain, as is the work being done, whether it's about gaming or whether it is about NFTs, etc., there is a whole new world which is awaiting us right now when we put the 3Ds, the AIs, the semantic web, all of this together. So to conclude it all, just let me quickly tell you on what Web 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0 stand for. Firstly, Web 1.0 is only read. The Web 1.2 is wildly read and write. And 3 is it's portable, it's personal, it talks back to you. Other is the company focus is all that Web 1.0 talked about. Web 2.0 brought people together, so it was more community focused. Web 3.0 is completely individual focused. What you want to put out, what you want, it is very relevant to you. Again, Web 1.0 was very homepage focused. Web 2.0 was Wikipedias and blogs, all of that came during that time. And Web 3.0 is all about live streams, waves. It's right now, right there as it happens. Web 1.0 was about owning content. It was your page, you put stuff out. Then Web 2.0 brought about with sharing content. You could put back, you could review, you could vote, you were a part of the internet. Web 3.0 is about consolidating all of this content, storing it, securing it, and also giving it back to you as and when it is needed. So from web forms to web applications to smart applications is where we stand right now. And we also have seen a huge way that we have come in from directories to tagging to user behavior analysis as we see it right now. So, another thing that also changed was the way we look at things right now. So moving on from page views, every time you went to a IRCTC site or you went to a government site, you knew how many people had viewed it. So how many clicks had that page seen? But from that, we moved to cost per click. So the advertisers moved in as well. And now it is about encouragement, behavioral advertising is what we see in the market. So from banner advertising to interactive advertising to joining into that advertising is what we are seeing. So the semantic web is the future as the internet users or the content developers will tell you. And again, just reiterating myself yet again, Web 3.0 and blockchain, as is being used right now with the latest technologies, the cryptocurrencies, the blockchain, the smart contracts that are being devised, is all happening on Web 3.0. And the kind of collaboration that we are seeing with in sense of the digital behavior going forward, the Web 3.0 really opens a lot of avenues as we move ahead.